man who spent a lifetime working in a field which depends on publication. On the other hand, he allowed selected graduate students to work on certain original text for their doctoral degrees, thus earning prestige for them, for their mentor, and for Harvard University in general. Under Strugnell's auspices, the international team proceeded pretty much as they did before. It is interesting to compare their progress with that of scholars working on a different corpus of texts, the so-called Gnostic Gospels discovered in Egypt at Nag Hammadi. The Nag Hammadi scrolls were found 2 years before the Dead Sea Scrolls in 1945. By 1948, they had all been purchased by the Cairo Coptic Museum. There was initially an attempt to establish a Qumran-style monopoly over the material again by an enclave of French scholars, and as a result, work on them was retarded until 1956. No sooner did it finally get underway than it was interpreted by the Suez crisis. After this delay, however, the scrolls were in 1966 turned over to an international team of scholars for translation and publication. The head of this team was Professor James M. Robinson of the Institute for Antiquity and Christianity at Claremont Graduate School, California. When we spoke to Professor Robinson about the team in charge of the Qumran texts, he was scathing the Qumran scholars. Professor Robinson said, "No longer have to make reputations. All they can do is break them." Professor Robinson and his team, in contrast, moved with impressive rapidity. Within 3 years, a number of draft transcriptions and translations were being made available to scholars. By 1973, the entire Nag Hammadi library was in draft English translation and was circulating freely amongst interested researchers. In 1977, the whole body of the Nag Hammadi codices was published in facsimile and in popular edition, a total of 46 books plus some unidentified fragments. It thus took Robinson and his team a mere 11 years to bring the Nag Hammadi scrolls into print. Granted, the Qumran texts were more numerous and posed more complex problems than those from Nag Hammadi, but even allowing for this, the record of De Vaux's international team does not exactly inspire confidence. When they were formed in 1953, their declared objective and intention was to publish all the scrolls found at Qumran in definitive editions, forming a series to be issued by Oxford University Press as discoveries in the Judean desert of Jordan. The first volume appeared quickly enough in 1955 and dealt with the fragments found in the original cave at Qumran, now officially